If you've been around the crypto space for a while, then you'll no doubt have heard of Digibyte. Over the past 5 years, this project has constantly been innovating its blockchain update by update. However, is it still a crypto worth considering? Hi, this is Guy, and in this video, I'll give you everything you need to know about Digibyte. Before I get cracking, sadly, I have to say that I am no financial advisor. As such, whatever I say should only be used for educational purposes. Oh, and if you're new to the Bureau, a warm welcome. Why don't you go on and hit up that subscribe button? I release these regularly, so you'll want to get them the moment they hit the tube. Okay, enough with that. Let's dive into Digibyte. Digibyte is a cryptocurrency that boasts a lot of features and plenty of capability, but simply doesn't receive the consideration of other coins like Ethereum and Bitcoin. Many consider it to be one of the OG blockchains in the crypto space, with the Genesis block being mined all the way back in January of 2014. Not just that, but the project has an active developer platform and claims to be one of the most adaptable blockchains in existence. It is also pretty well decentralized, and since 2017 it has had over 280,000 active full nodes running on the network. At its core, Digibyte wants to give users the ability to create digital assets on its blockchain. A way for them to store these assets in an immutable and decentralized manner which can be sent instantly across the world. Okay, it sounds intriguing, but how exactly does it work? Well, there are 3 distinct layers within the Digibyte blockchain: the applications or DigiAssets layer, the digital asset or public ledger layer, and the core communications protocol or global network layer. Let's break these down one at a time. The first layer of the Digibyte blockchain, the applications layer, is the top layer. Think of it as an app store that has real-world uses. These digital assets can be created using the DigiAssets protocol on top of Digibyte. Additionally, decentralized apps, or dApps, can be created within this layer of the Digibyte blockchain. This gives users access to applications that they can use in real-world scenarios. Users can also create smart contracts in the applications layer. These contracts can leverage the security and rigidity of the Digibyte blockchain to create reliable and safe transactions. The second piece of the Digibyte blockchain is the digital asset layer, which is the middle layer. Think of this layer as the Digibyte security layer. Any unit on the Digibyte blockchain that holds value cannot be duplicated, hacked, or counterfeited. Digibytes are used as a way to secure value for many types of things. Also, part of the digital asset layer is the immutable public ledger. With its public ledger, Digibyte records all transactions and stores them permanently. Plus, when it comes to mining Digibyte, the blockchain uses 5 distinct mining algorithms for security purposes. I'll cover this in a bit more detail below. Now, the last layer of Digibyte's blockchain is the core protocol layer. This bottom layer provides operating and communication procedures. With the core protocol layer, low-level nodes on the Digibyte network have the ability to communicate with one another, which encompasses thousands of users around the world who use Digibyte software. Also part of this layer is the ability for any mobile device, computer, or server to access the Digibyte platform and become a node that helps facilitate transactions on the blockchain. Now that you have a high-level understanding of Digibyte's blockchain, I want to take a few minutes and talk about 2 distinct features about this project: speed and security. Block formation on the platform is quick, which helps to make everything else easier. Transactions complete faster, which means more are processed in the same amount of time it takes other blockchains to do fewer. A big part of this speed is due to Digibyte's implementation of Segwit, or segregated witness. Oh, now here's a fun fact. Did you know that Digibyte was one of the first major altcoins to implement it back in 2017? Anyways, with Segwit, the block size limit is increased by removing signature data from the transactions. This frees up space in the blocks, which means that more transactions can be included within each block. These solutions and integrations allow for the Digibyte blockchain to process 560 transactions every second, which is considerably faster than Bitcoin's 8. And thanks to Segwit and Digispeed, this TPS limit could soon double. This is due to the doubling of the Digibyte block size every 2 years. This was delayed for 2019 given the work that's been taking place on DigiAssets. If all goes to plan in the future, this block size could continually doubling every 2 years and potentially reach a TPS limit of over 280,000 in 2035. Pretty impressive. Of course, you should take this projection with a pinch of salt, as theory is often very different from practice. Now also, another key feature of the Digibyte blockchain is its security, and key to this is the decentralized nature of its blockchain. This decentralization is achieved thanks to Digibyte's unique approach to mining. Digibyte uses proof of work as its consensus mechanism. However, unlike Bitcoin, which uses a single mining algorithm, Digibyte uses 5 separate algorithms that are equally weighted. Each algorithm has a distinct process referred to as multi-shield and automatically adjusts the difficulty of each of the algorithms so that it's weighted against the other algorithms. So, a dynamic and robust difficulty adjustment framework. The 5 algorithms used on the Digibyte blockchain are SHA-256, Script, Odocrypt, Skein, and Qubit. Odocrypt was the latest addition to their protocol, which was implemented in July of 2019. So why have 5 different mining algorithms? Well, Digibyte claims that this can increase the security of the blockchain. It greatly reduces the risk of potential minor or double spend attacks. In order to successfully conduct this attack, a miner will need to control 51% of the hashing power on the network. This becomes infinitely more difficult when 5 different hashing algorithms are used. Add to that the multi-shield difficulty adjustment and it becomes near impossible. There are other benefits to this approach as well. It levels the playing field and allows the smaller miners to contribute to the security of the network without being squeezed out by large mining farms. Oh, and on this point, if you're looking to mine Digibyte, then we have a step-by-step guide that I've linked to below. So check it out if you want to start hashing it out. Moving on though, let's take a look at the token dynamics of Digibyte, shall we? Unlike many other projects currently populating the space, Digibyte was not funded through an ICO or fundraiser of any kind. The project launched in January of 2014, with its Genesis block occurring on the 10th of that same month. There was a minor 0.5% pre-mine of the coins back in 2014. This was fair and reasonable, with 0.25% of the funds being given away to the public and the remaining funds being spent on development. These pre-mine coins have all been dispensed, so the project doesn't really have a large stash of sats to work with, a point I'll expand on in a bit. The project is supported and developed by an unincorporated foundation, the Digibyte Foundation. Digibyte is traded under the symbol DGB, and there are currently nearly 13 billion coins in circulation. There's a max supply of 21 billion coins, which is expected to be reached in 2035. Now this is 10,000 times that of Bitcoin's max supply. And the reasoning behind this is that it makes using Digibyte more manageable. It's a lot easier to quote a price as multiple rather than fractions. Anyways, I want to move on now and take a look at the team behind Digibyte. One of the most prolific figures behind the Digibyte project is Jared Tate. Tate created the project and has been part of its full-time development since Digibyte went public in 2014. The project does have a few other core developers, including Gary McKee, Yoshi Jager, and Noah Seidman. Digibyte also has one of the most passionate communities that I've seen in the crypto space. Now this is great as it helps spread awareness of the Digibyte project. When it comes to roadmaps, Digibyte does not have a fixed set of milestones per se. They have a collection of possible future development initiatives. Some of the more interesting that I picked up on are an address book for Android and iOS applications, DigiAssets for launching ICOs and other dApps on top of the Digibyte blockchain, further integrations of merchant payment processing of DGB, updates to the core wallet, and something called, quote, artificial block intelligence. If the past is anything to go by, then only a few of these wishlist items are likely to be implemented, but that's still a pretty decent amount. Anyways, let's move on to the markets for Digibyte, shall we? Now, Digibyte isn't going to overwhelm you with daily trading volume like its more popular counterparts. This is probably down to a lack of support from some of the larger exchanges. For example, it has so far been rebuffed by Binance and other big players. You will, however, find it listed on exchanges such as Coinex, Bittrex, KuCoin and Bitfinex, to name just a few. Oh, it's also currently listed on Poloniex, but the exchange recently decided that they wanted to drop it for unknown reasons, although it seems to have been in response to a tweet by Jared Tate. Anyways, when it comes to volume on these exchanges, it's pretty limited. You could face order slippage on your larger block orders. When it comes to storage, Digibyte has pretty extensive wallet support. We have actually completed a post on the top Digibyte wallets that you can find a link to below. So then, what do I really think about Digibyte? Well, its track record is clear. There were a number of other coins that were launched at a similar time, and many of those have fallen off the radar. Digibyte has the staying power. Moreover, it offers the decentralization and fast transaction times users want to see with blockchain payments. Transaction speed is only likely to increase as the block size is doubled every 2 years. This also means that users pay low fees, and while the proof-of-work consensus mechanism is losing supporters, it does help the Digibyte network stay secure. You also have their unique approach to their mining with the 5 hashing algorithms and the multi-shield difficulty adjustment. And finally, I like the fact that the project is being driven by a passionate core team with a dedicated community backing them up. None of these participants are paid, and their commitment to the project is noteworthy. Of course, there are still some challenges that Digibyte faces. For one, the project still remains relatively unknown in the broader crypto community. Some of the newer blockchains are stealing the limelight given the extent of their large marketing budgets. As a community-driven project, Digibyte lacks the funds to compete with these projects, so that's unfortunate. Then you also have the lack of broader exchange support and the relatively low-level liquidity that results. Once Digibyte is delisted from Poloniex, it is one less market for traders to exchange their coins. Lastly, it's tough to see how Digibyte differentiates itself from competitors. Yes, it's well established, fast and secure, but its underlying use cases are pretty general. Other projects are developing multi-dimensional third-generation blockchains which provide much more functionality than Digibyte's. So overall then, I do like Digibyte, and I want to see it maintain its current position in the crypto space. Whether it is likely to do so in the future is hard to tell. It'll be interesting to see what transpires over the coming year. And that, ladies and gents, is my review of Digibyte. But I need to hear from you. Any Digibyte fans out there? Do you guys have any questions for me? Feel free to leave your comments below. And did you like this video? Then like this video. Your support means a lot, so hit that thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. I'll be back again very soon.